Hey, what up guys, welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today's video is going to be all about how to breed baby plecos. As you can see here, I have a recent batch that has hatched. And I thought it would be a good time to film it because I just pulled another batch of eggs that my male is sitting on. So it's a really good example because I can just show you the male and I can actually show you a bunch of babies. And I can show you exactly which tank they were raised in. So I think this video is going to work out pretty good if you're interested in breeding bristlenose plecos or pretty much any pleco. Most of them apply to the same kind of concept. Pretty much, if you're interested in breeding bristlenose, you need to get a couple males and females, at least one or two of each. So you're going to need to buy at least a group of 4 or 5 plecos to start. And you're gonna have to grow them out. It takes quite a while for them to get breeding size. This male here is probably about 4 or 5 inches, and he's probably 5 or 6 years old at this point, maybe 7. So he has been breeding for a very long time. Now, I just fed, so all the plecos are out eating. And this right here is just an algae wafer. Alright, the first thing about plecos when they hatch is they're going to eat on their egg sac for probably about 5 or 6 days. They're going to stay in the tunnel and they're not going to come out. Then after that, they're going to explode around your tank and they're going to be looking for food. So it's very important to have algae or something on your glass for them to eat on. A lot of times they're going to go around and suck on the glass and they're eating like a film or algae that's on the glass. It kind of looks like this right here, and that's pretty much what they're eating, is this little algae. So you want to have a nice cycle tank because they're going to want to eat algae. And it takes a while for them to start eating actual food. A lot of times you'll just find them sucking onto the glass, like back there. And there's a bunch of them all over the tank on the glass, pretty much just eating. In this tank here, I have a couple mosquito fish that I caught wild in the creek here. And that's just because I like to have fish swimming around. You don't really need fish. But for this purpose, I have fish because I've been feeding the fish, and the fish are pooping, and it makes algae. And that's my thought process. I like to have fish in there to produce some waste, so that there's always algae or something for the plecos to eat. Alright, so let's get into how you actually breed them. The first thing you're going to need is a cave with only one entrance and no other exit. This cave here is one that I've used a lot. It just has a big entrance here, a big hole, and that's pretty much it. There's no other way in or out. And you need that because the male goes in and he's going to block that entrance and the female's going to lay her eggs. And then once she lays her eggs, he's going to let her out and he's going to protect the eggs. So the one that you're going to find with the eggs is always going to be your male pleco. You can see there's some babies in there too, but he's also on a whole clump of eggs. So these eggs have been in there for probably about 4 days. So let's say that you have some males and females and you found some caves like this that only have one entrance. I would definitely start checking the caves pretty often. They can lay up to 1 to 2 times a week. This batch here that I'd hatched out was from a week ago, and then this batch is from the next week. So when I put him back, they'll probably have a 3rd batch, but I'm not going to harvest them because I don't want my male to get too skinny. When you're breeding them, the male's not going to really eat food or anything. He's just going to focus on fanning on the eggs and keeping them safe. I pretty much always just have a separate tank, like this tank is here, and this male was in a whole different tank. So once you have the male and the eggs in a separate tank that has some algae or some kind of something for them to eat, I also put wood in there for them to eat, and there's always a whole bunch of them under the wood here. They're pretty much all over this tank. So once you move the male with the eggs, it's gonna take quite a while for the eggs to hatch. For this clutch here, it took almost 5 or 6 days before I even noticed any movement. Then it's going to take another 5 days for them to eat their egg sac. So pretty much what's going to happen is you're going to move over your male, and you're just going to be waiting probably 5 or 6 days for this egg that he's sitting on. There's probably 100 of them or 50 of them, but he will sit on them and fan them, and probably 6-7 days in they'll hatch, and they're not going to leave the cave like I was saying earlier. They're just going to sit in that cave with him and stay in the darkness. There's a good shot of all the eggs. Now your male might kick out some eggs, and that's perfectly normal. What he's probably doing is trying to get rid of moldy eggs. So if he kicks any eggs out, just move them to a dark area of the tank, and they might hatch, but they might be moldy too. So I wouldn't necessarily put any eggs that he kicks out back. Now an interesting thing that I was trying is an experiment if I can hatch eggs with all the other babies in the tank. So there's a whole bunch of other bristlenose babies in there. And honestly, I think they're cleaning the eggs, because I haven't had any moldy eggs this batch. So maybe they were eating all the mold and stuff. You can see the male is getting pretty upset because I'm filming this. But once your eggs hatch, they're going to stay in the cave for at least 6 days. And then you'll start seeing them pop around on your glass. And that's about the time that you should definitely have some algae and stuff in your tank for them to eat. Once you get to that point, it's pretty simple to start feeding them some algae wafers and some flake food, which is what I just fed them, and they're going crazy eating the flake food right now. Some of them will stay and hide, and some of them will come out. But that's pretty much how to breed bristlenose plecos. And another tip here at the end is, if you use a sponge filter, none of the bristlenose plecos will get sucked up. If you use an overhead filter or anything like that, they could get sucked up, so I don't do that if I'm looking for breeding. And that's pretty much it. Make sure you give your males and females plenty of time to rest and eat food in between breeding, because they'll just breed every week if you let them, but they will slowly die from not eating. Anyways, this has just been another video on how to breed a fish. Let me know if you guys like this one. I'll see you guys later. Peace.